So these are my words, but this is a very super important conversation and topic. So I'm going to just go ahead and read it so I don't miss anything and you get all the information you need to get. So a Doppler is a handheld ultrasound device that many pregnant women choose to use at home to monitor baby's heart rate. And if you don't know, there are risks to ultrasound. So basically, Dopplers do pose some risks too. I know the pain of experiencing miscarriage and pregnancy loss and the desire to make sure your current pregnancy is successful. And so you may want to use a Doppler too, but because there are risks associated with the use of a Doppler, I want to make this video so that you are very super clear and that you are well informed about the Doppler and its uses and risks. Okay, so keep watching. Peace and infinite blessings and rainbows to you. My name is Sunshine Cummings. I'm a mindset coach, healer, and doula, and you are watching Heal with Sunshine TV. So when I got pregnant for the first time in 2012, I was planning a home birth, and I was very hands off. I was a midwife. I was a home birth midwife apprentice. So I was apprenticing with the home birth midwife, and I had been in about my 4th year on and off of doing that work. And so I had done a lot of studying about pregnancy and birth and the safety of it, the naturalness of it, and the beauty of it. It's not illness. It's not sickness. I trusted my body. I'm like, my body knows what it's supposed to do. It was designed to do this. And so I was very hands off. I didn't want ultrasounds. I didn't want Doppler. I'm like, no, you're going to wait till I'm about 20 weeks and you're going to use a fetoscope before you can hear my baby's heart rate. I didn't want any interventions. And of course, that was the type of birth that I was planning as well. Then here comes 22 weeks. My water breaks prematurely while I'm on vacation and I go into preterm labor. I have that baby. And because she was not viable yet, they say viability is 24 weeks, then I was not, she didn't live. She lived for about 4 hours. Okay. So they're like, they don't really know what happened, what was the cause or anything like that. Cool. I get pregnant again months later. Same thing happens again at 22 weeks. So here I am like, what's really going on? So at that point, now the doctors come together. They're like, oh, well, because this happened again, it happened like this, the same way, all pretty much the same circumstances at the same gestational period. More than likely, you have incompetent cervix. I don't accept that. That's why I do this. Weak cervix, cool. It's weak. My uterus needs to be strengthened a little bit, fine. But you're not going to call any body part of mine incompetent. Little mini rant. But anyway, so after that, of course, the nerves kicked in, the anxiety kicked in, the fears kicked in, the worries kicked in, the concerns kicked in. And at that point, I became like, do whatever. I made sure I had my ultrasound plan. I didn't have to, but I chose to get a cerclage for my next pregnancy, which I'm going to do a video on that. But basically, it just helps you if you're cause of miscarriage. And if you did not watch that video, I did make a video, 5 reasons why women miscarry. So watch that video if you're not super clear on why you may be experiencing miscarriage. But because the cause of mine was weak cervix, that's one of the interventions that they're able to do to help you carry to full term. So that is what I chose to do. And it comes along with so many other interventions. I mean, everything that I wanted and planned for my first pregnancy, like that just went out the door. It didn't have to. I know that now, which is why I'm doing the work that I do. I know that it didn't have to. I didn't know then. I know now that I did not have to go that route, but I did. Okay. So I became so like hands-on. I mean, multiple ultrasounds throughout that pregnancy, synthetic progesterone shots, all kind of stuff that I would never have. I'm doing a video, give me a second. Never have considered my first pregnancy. I'm doing a video, give me a second. Child. So, yes, so I totally understand your concern. I did not have a home Doppler. I did have a fetal scope because I was a student midwife. So I did have that. It didn't do me any good until I was already past 20 weeks pregnancy, maybe around 18. It just depends. It depends on position of baby, and then your thickness of skin or whatever, whether or not you'll be able to hear baby's heart rate clearly, and audibly at that early of a period, which is like 17, 18 for some women. But generally by 20 weeks, you can hear it with a fetoscope. So that is an option. There are risks to Dopplers, to using home Dopplers, because essentially it's ultrasound that you're able to hear it so audibly like that, because it's like a form of radiation basically that is going into your body in order to amplify the sound of your baby's heartbeat. So there are risks, and if you are comfortable taking that risk, then I would say, and you're going to use the home Doppler, don't do it excessively. It is not necessary to do it every single day. You don't need to do that at all. Maybe once a month, if you know, and then maybe switch over once you're about 20 weeks or so. Switch over, buy yourself a fetoscope and do that. They're way cheaper than Dopplers, and the risks are none. There are no risks to using a fetoscope to hear your baby. It takes a little practice because it's like a stethoscope like the doctors use, but then there's a funnel. I wish I had mine with me, but there's a funnel on the end, like a cone that you sit on your belly to kind of amplify the sound a little bit more. So it's not that flat round piece that we're used to when they check our lungs or our heartbeat, when we go for checkups, or when y'all go for checkups or whatever. It's not that. It's different, but it's similar. Same concept, right? So I just want y'all to know that. Be aware that there are risks, and you really don't need to be putting yourself in a position to do things that create risk or that can be a little risky when you're already in a mental state of worry and fear and anxiety. Like, you want to be able to do everything and know that everything that you're doing is safe, or is the safest option possible, and that will help to ease a lot of your concern, ease a lot of your worry. I know that the what if thoughts, you have a lot of what if that make you feel like, well, what if something's wrong? What if, things are not going the way that you want them to go? And so that will be the cause for you wanting to use a Doppler. But just know that that is like your irrational brain, your irrational mind. That's anxiety talking and wanting you to do something. That's what anxiety does. It kind of like gives you this fight or flight kind of feeling. And it makes you feel like you have to do things to protect yourself. Like, it's wanting to protect you, right? But usually it's anxiety because there is no danger. It's wanting to protect you from something that is not, there's no danger, right? There's nothing really to protect you from. So just keep that in mind when you get those feelings, the anxiety and the desire to Google or run to your Facebook forums or your Facebook groups or your online forums, or use a Doppler or anything else that may not be the safest option for you and or your baby. Okay. And speaking of Facebook groups, I've created one. I have a Facebook group. I just created it, so it's very, 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 very new. But in there, we are working it. Just go read the description of it. I'm gonna link it in the boxes below. Just go read the description of the group. If it's for you, join. If it's not for you, don't join. But when you see the description, you'll understand like what we're doing in there. We're working on our mindset, working on our bodies, working on everything holistically. But we're about putting in action, not sitting around sulking and crying and worrying and being anxious all day. Okay? So remember, you are not alone in this. I'm here for you. You got this. If you have any questions or comments, drop them below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Peace, infinite blessings, and rainbows to you. And I will see you in the next video.